Hey guys, if you've seen the previous two recaps of this anime called The Great Cleric on my channel, skip to 1 minute and continue the story, but if you haven't, please don't skip the video and see the preview, so let's continue. Previously in the anime, our salaryman was reincarnated to another world and named himself Lucile. Lucile chose to be a healer and joined the Healers Guild. But he soon discovered that healers in this world are corrupted and toy with people's lives for money. So Lucile joined the Adventurers Guild to become stronger through training. He offered to use his healing power for free to get training from a pro-adventurer Brod. Then one day he saved Monica from the brink of death. Because she tried to object to the corrupt healer named Bataculi, who was extorting his patients and selling them to slave traders. Lucile assisted Monica in joining the guild as a receptionist in order to save her life. Then a year had passed and Lucile had decided to become an independent healer and live on his own. But first he went to the Healers Guild to pay up his offering. But he saw Kururu alone sulking because her only helper Monica had joined the Adventurers Guild, but still she gets to work and took Lucile's healer card to update his stats. But Kururu got terrified seeing the rapid progress Lucile had made in leveling, so Lucile tells her in a short way what happened past year. And she thinks he's a masochist because he could do the same thing at a clinic and make money, but working at a guild gave him much more experience than working at a clinic. So Kururu gets his honesty and gave him an offer to raise his level at the cost of 90 silver coin, which Lucile couldn't even think to afford. But then Brod comes in and covers all the expenses for Lucile, and asked Kururu to assign Lucile to the Adventurers Guild, where he could even get wages for his work at the guild. It was a profitable deal, so Lucile agreed, but since adventurers and healers don't get along, Kururu was concerned about Lucile. But Lucile was alright because he had already spent last year at the guild. Then Lucile gets back to the guild with some spell books he got from Healers Guild. Then Brod comes in again and took him to the dining hall to give him a surprise welcoming party, but he still couldn't get away from his daily dose of poison. Lucile accepted his faith and give a little speech and a toast with everyone and starts to drink it down, so others started to admire his manly guts for gulping down that drink. But now everyone are avoiding him because of that stinky drink. But their Bazan and his friends approach him with a question, that is if Lucile is interested in men. Because he always focuses on training with Brod, and even though girls surrounded him he doesn't make a move. Lucile tells him it's all because Brod would get in the way of if he makes a move on girls. And moreover Lucile was focused on training and healing others in this past year that he never got time to think about anything else, so Sekhiroth first confirms Lucile isn't into men's. So that he can take him to the town brothels. Lucile gets excited just hearing this because he had never been in bed with a girl. Then Monica comes to thank Lucile for his help, but in that moment Lucile couldn't hold back and takes a step forward and instantly gets shy, but the spectators were enjoying the youthful love drama. Then that Bataculi was angry because his business was being ruined because of Lucile, so he decided to meet Lucile himself. Bataculi then gets to guild to meet Lucile. Lucile instantly remembers that he's the one who would send killer behind Monica. Then Bataculi orders Lucile to join his clinic while he's been merciful, but Lucile doesn't give a f about his mercy. And asked him why he should work for him. Bataculi says that because he worked at the guild for a low price, his clinic business was suffering, so Lucile tells him it's his own damn fault for charging too much. Bataculi was about to lose his temper, so Lucile sugarcoats him that he's like a senior to him from whom he could learn. Bataculi bought it and goes along with that sweetness. Then Lucile asked about the healing level used on bone fractures or illnesses, to which Bataculi replied, only high-level healing. And the same goes for any other injuries or illnesses, so Lucile reminds him he could have used a low-level healing there. But Bataculi doesn't care and simply wants to fill his pocket with money by using high-level healing. So Lucile tells him to use his power for good. But Bataculi doesn't care as long as he could fill his pocket with money from healings. Lucile tells him to have some shame and try to think that his powers could have saved other people's life, hearing that Bataculi tells him he was the same as him while he was young. Bataculi also had the same principles, but everything changed after he got attacked because of his principles to help people out of kindness. Lucile understood Bataculi was once a kind person too but changed due to some nasty experience. But Lucile told him to look back at his actions for selling people into slavery who had a family at their home. Then Bataculi had enough, so he ordered his men to take out Lucile. But Brod gets there and had already subdued his men. Brod has a nice reputation, so Bataculi runs away instantly. after that day there were some shady peoples looking for Lucile. But he still doesn't care, but Broad then tells him his Spartan training starts from today and his portion of poison drink will also increase to make him stronger as fast as possible. With that they gets to the training hall and Lucile gets beaten up again, but he gets back up every time even with injuries, so others thought Lucile will become a zombie at this rate. So that funny thought gave Lucile a nickname of Zombie Man around the guild and people started teasing him with that. Then Lucile gets back to his training and Broad told him to use a barrier magic. Then out of the blue Broad threw him down and Lucile didn't got any injuries, so his barrier worked at some point. So after that Broad doubles his difficulty level of his training and gives him a set of weapons this time to make Lucile his official apprentice, but Broad forbids him from seeing his own status. Because Lucile is just going after leveling up, so he wants him to learn about experience more than leveling up. And so with that Lucile begins his real training with Broad and time passes out, and Botticelli was still mad because Lucile didn't change his rates for healing. So he wrote a letter to the head of Healers Guild that Lucile is charging way more than normal to heal people. Just so Lucile could get transferred to some other regions so that his business could get back on track. And with that episode 5 had came to an end, but please tell me in the comments section if you want to watch more of this anime, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video.